to Let's Talk Live. Today we're going to talk about the topic fashion.
And as always, we're here with Cedric, me, Mert, and our technical guy, Ilian.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about fashion today. And we're going to quickly address what our fashion sense is and what we think about fashion. Then we also want to talk about how Dutch people dress or how people dress in the Netherlands. And we also want to focus on the creative industries and how the people that work in that field dress as well. And we're also going to talk about vintage shopping. And lastly, we will give you info on the clothes that we brought here to Leeuwarden, to the north of the Netherlands. And we're going to talk about what you basically need here. Yeah, so Murray, why don't you want to start us off with what you think about fashion?
Well, I don't have a big opinion about fashion because, well, I understand that it's in one kind an art form. You can do a lot of things with fashion and express a lot of things. But when it comes to like practical clothing or like daily fashion, yeah, for me, fashion is basically something that mainly feels good.
Yeah.
So it has to be something comfortable, just, make you feel good. And then, it also has to look good. But when it comes to brands, I don't really care about brands. I mean, for some clothes, there are specific brands. There are like a go-to brand because, they just do the best quality.
For that specific area, yeah.
Area, exactly. But in general, don't really like care about the brand.
Okay. Yeah, for me it's a bit different because I'm actually thinking about going into the fashion industry as a work field, and therefore I really enjoy talking about fashion, thinking about fashion, also reading about fashion, and therefore fashion is a big part of me, and that's why I think a bit more opinion of what brands I wear, at least. And I think that's for some people, as you said, most of the times it's more of the comfortable and the setting wise. So if you want to have clothes that fit into the certain thing you're doing, if it's sports or just lounging at home or something like that. And but for me, in some cases, I would still like to dress a bit different, I think, compared to other people.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Like I said, you can express yourself in a lot of things with fashion. So I get it. I also understand people who are caring that much as you do about fashion and brands and maybe also designers. But yeah, for me, it's just like, clothing to put on your skin.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But do you have like a specific like color schemes that you like to wear? Are you a person that wears a lot of black and white, or?
I think it depends. Like now I have more like a phase where I wear darker stuff without a reason, it just developed that way.
Okay.
But I also like to wear colorful stuff, like colorful hoodies, for example.
Yeah.
And for a long time, like green was my favorite color. So I had like a huge collection of green sweatshirts and hoodies.
Yeah.
And but now I'm also more into other colors, like blue. I have a lot of blue pants, like jeans. So yeah, it depends.
Okay.
How about you?
Well, I think I'm also more of like the black and white. To be honest, I think just works with everything, right? So you can make something wrong with getting a black pair of pants. I'm more on like how they are cut and how their fit is. I think that's like the more of an emphasis that I take on how I can layer them, how it looks on me if the jeans are a bit more skinnier or wider. So I basically mostly look at that and then after that decide on the color.
The form is just the main factor in this case, basically.
Definitely, yeah. Otherwise, I also do have brighter or more colorful pieces as well in my wardrobe, but they're like a bit more exotic, I would say, and therefore I also love to rock them, but they don't fit like in every situation. So it's more of like pick them out like a couple of times, but not that often.
Yeah. Well, we talked about like dressing differently from other people.
Yeah.
Or not like grabbing attention, but like sticking out of the mass, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
that's also pretty common in the creative industry, we could say, right?
Yeah, so as we also mentioned in the tattoo episode, last episode, it's like all about expressing yourself, and I think due to the creative field and the different things that you have there, people are just more creative,
Yeah,
and therefore I think also want to showcase that as well.
yeah, just express their creativity, I would say.
And that the best form of that is like fashion, because the eye is one
Yeah,
of the
it's
main.
basically
Yeah.
the first thing you see, right? It's just,
Yeah, and I think I think that's why also so many people in the creative field just have a lot to do with fashion. As you say, with rappers and stuff, like
Yeah.
people or like musicians, they have a big influence on the fashion
Yeah.
industry as well, due to the stuff that they say and stuff and how they want to appear,
Yeah,
right?
like you said, a lot of celebrities who are not really in the fashion industry, they are still involved in the fashion industry.
Somehow, yeah.
Just design their own stuff, or just, I don't know,
Yeah.
cooperate with brands and promote each other pretty much.
And one showcase that they're rich as well, probably for rappers for rappers in most cases.
Yeah.
Rapping about that they have a lot of Prada shirts or
Yeah,
um,
but that's also the thing. I think after a certain grade of being famous,
yeah.
you don't really pay anymore for that stuff.
Yeah, you get
You
it
know,
for free.
You get
as
a
well.
lot of stuff for free, so that the company gets promotion through your popularity. And so yeah, sometimes you see, like you say, a rapper and wearing like a whatever $500 shirt or something, and then you think about, well, he actually paid for it. Nah, probably not.
Well, yeah, they just wanna,
Yeah.
wanna flex in that sort of sense. Yeah.
But yeah, so let's talk a bit more about the fashion in the Netherlands, or maybe the way people dress in the Netherlands.
Yeah. So far, what I've seen now, since I've been here for 2 years, I think a lot of Dutch people like to wear old pieces of clothing in that form of like that they're from older generations, or at
Yeah.
least were more popular in the 80s or something like
Yeah,
that.
what we can consider like vintage.
Yeah, vintage,
clothing.
exactly. So I think a lot of Dutch people here love the vintage vibe or the vintage look
Yeah.
of clothes,
It's
and like in
Pretty
general.
popular, I think, as
Yeah.
well. There are a lot like vintage stores
Yeah,
for clothing. So that also, like you say, represents the popularity of this style.
yeah, and also just like I think very, very, very open, very wide, very, very oversized as well.
Yeah.
In most senses, for me at least. I'm not sure why they are wearing this, but I think it's just like a general thing. You don't see that in Germany so often,
Yeah.
at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe it has something to do that they're putting on many layers.
Yeah, well, the weather is nice. The wind
Yeah.
goes under it. But yeah,
Yeah, could be. I don't know. But yeah, like you said, in general, it's more vintage style. Maybe it's because of the city here.
Yeah, might be. Could be
maybe.
that Leeuwarden is a bit different from other things, but as I've seen in Amsterdam, it's also pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have like also these people. They do not they're not, I think, not scared to show what they what they feel like and what they want to showcase with their clothes. I think
Yeah.
if you look at, for me personally, comparing it to Germany, I think they wear a lot more of like, yeah, a bit more uptight clothes that you doesn't really showcase the person itself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So we'd rather still wear like jeans and stuff, like simple things, instead of like going all out, I think.
Yeah, I get what you mean. So for people who consider me maybe moving to the Netherlands, maybe we can give them a few tips.
Oh yeah,
or
what to bring and stuff,
suggestions,
right?
What to
Yeah.
bring. Maybe you can share how you prepared, like clothing wise, to when you were
Yeah,
moving
so
here.
since I was here for a short review of the university, wanted to see what it was all about. That was the first time I went to Holland actually, and I think at that time the weather was pretty bad, as it a lot of times is here in Leeuwarden. So it
Yeah.
was raining, and I also heard from other people that already stayed in the Netherlands or were already studying in the Netherlands. They said like, yeah, definitely bring a raincoat,
Yeah.
at least one, just because you have to wear it a lot due to the fact that it's almost every time raining here.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true, and you never know when it starts raining.
Yeah,
It can
exactly.
be any moment. So definitely just don't forget a raincoat.
Yeah,
But other than that, I think the weather is also pretty nice.
yeah,
Like now, slowly we're going towards summer. So it's also important to bring stuff for like summer.
definitely. Yeah, so keeping in mind that we are still like surrounded somewhere where it also gets warm in the summer. it's definitely important to also bring summery stuff, right? And you can also bring like, and also due to the fact that you have a lot of lakes and stuff as well.
Yep.
Otherwise, not like, yeah, but the main emphasis is on the rain stuff, right? So on the,
Yeah, definitely.
like, definitely bring a raincoat. And I think that's like the most important thing to get.
Yeah, and what I kind of figured out or made the experience of is it's better to like put on more layers of clothing because
Yeah.
the weather changes so quickly. So
Yeah.
if you put on just like a thick jacket
Yeah.
and then it gets warm, then you have to take it out and then it becomes cold again. So
Yeah,
it's difficult. So my experience was it's just better to put on different layers, and so you can pretty much easily regulate how you feel like temperature wise.
Yeah. And otherwise, again, as we said, a lot of vintage shops here, so you can always also like get t-shirts and stuff, and then maybe also incorporate a bit of like the Dutch vibe
The Dutch
that's
vibe,
going
yeah.
on. Yeah, the vintage vibe, exactly. But yeah, and otherwise, yeah. So as we said, vintage shopping very hip here, or at least very popular.
Yeah.
Also for older generations, I believe it's not only like the youngsters or like teenagers going out with these clothes. I think it's also a lot of elderly people as well, which I find really hilarious.
Yeah, I also feel like that a lot of older people, they care about how they look and how they dress.
Yeah, they don't wear the same pair of pants every day. It's definitely different from at least my experiences in Germany,
Yeah.
especially.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, do you maybe have something interesting from the fashion industry or an experience? Because you said you are into that topic, you
Yeah.
care about fashion, and you also said that you want to professionally work in the fashion
field,
industry,
yeah.
in the field.
Yeah, so since I'm not studying anything fashion related, it's more of the emphasis of the business part of the fashion.
Okay.
So I would definitely work in the fashion industry, but wouldn't be a person that, let's say, designs clothes.
Okay.
Personally, it would more be like, okay, you have an item, a product, now you have to bring it to the designated people, designated target group, which they want to buy from, and then like this advertisement stuff. That
Yeah.
I think that's like the area I see myself in the
Okay.
most. So the marketing part of the fashion
Marketing
industry,
part. Yeah,
definitely.
could be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's like the go-to thing for me. Otherwise, yeah, fashion industry, very big thing. And right now, there's all this factor about sustainability. Since I don't know why they just found out about it, that a lot of fashion industries do are major influences of the pollution
Yeah.
of water and everything. I think that's like very hot topic right now.
Yeah, definitely is.
And that's why I think a lot of like new, like also old big houses, fashion houses like Louis Vuitton and stuff, they are all like switching their like production lines,
Yeah,
so it's more
trying to be
sustainable.
become
Yeah.
sustainable,
Yeah, I think that's like the biggest thing that goes around fashion right now. Also due to the pandemic, I think a lot of people started like going online to shop, but they also did before, but a bit more specific and actually a bit like read themselves into the whole aspect of,
Yeah.
of fashion. And I think that's why a lot of people then started like recognizing like, oh damn, these fashion houses don't produce that well.
the dark sides of fashion.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and as I said, this is like a very big thing now, and that's why I think also a lot of people are now considering more of like these smaller brands that emphasize on like reworking fabrics that were already used in fashion, and I think that's why the whole vintage scenario is like also like very international now,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
have it like everywhere, which I find awesome. Just because I think that's definitely going to change the fashion industry on how it works now, and I think therefore all these big fashion houses also then have competition with smaller brands, but they have like this sustainable vibe and like these all new ideas of how to use old fabrics and stuff, or new ones to make them more organic. It's,
I also like the idea of like reusing fabrics and
Yeah.
pieces of clothing to make new stuff. I mean, it's good for the environment, and it maybe also opens doors for a different way of creativity when it comes to like designing clothes, for example.
Yeah, and also I think that the aspect of like that, like from time to time, like the fashion trend switches back to old kind of trends that were like
Yeah.
all like from the 80s and stuff. These bowling
Yeah.
shirts, they were in very in 2019, also 2020, and I think that's also where like this vintage shopping thing comes in again. That actually people just like don't want to buy new things, but actually get the clothes from that time actually
Yeah.
out of vintage stores. And I think that's a very big thing now as well. And I think that's also gonna, of course, also help the way how the pollution and stuff as
Yeah.
well. Just because not many things are made anymore.
Well, I think that was it for this episode about fashion. I hope we could give you a little insight about our opinion about fashion.
And the location with the Netherlands and how what you have to prepare for clothing wise to before you go here. And yeah.